What is going on YouTube? So in today's video, we're going to be playing Murica Control. Alright, I am recording this on Memorial Day here in America, so I'd like to take a moment to say thank you to all those that have served, and I appreciate the sacrifice and everything that you have done for this great country. Now let's back to the deck tech. So this is your standard blue-white control list. We have our removals, we have our board wipes, then we have our cheap draw, our negate type effect, counter spells, more draw spells. Every blue-white deck needs Teferi and Shark Typhoon, but we're adding the red here for Abrade. Abrade is great against the Cat Oven decks, the Anvil decks, the Greasefang decks, any aggro deck. Yeah, like Abrade's just an overall great removal spell currently in Explorer's metagame. Then we have Magma Opus. Sometimes we'll cast it, sometimes we won't. Most of the time, though, we are going to discard it to make a treasure token and then cast it on turn 5 with our Gearhulk. But some games, we're going to use Gearhulk to flashback counter spells, or Settle the Wreckage, or Fateful Absence, stuff like that. And if the game goes long enough, we can get to 8 mana pretty easily. It's blue-white control. Games tend to go pretty long. If you guys enjoy this video, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Any cards you'd play instead of cards I'm playing. Any decks you'd like for me to visit. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into some games. Okay. So, we have good mana. We have all of our colors. We have a removal spell, 2 removal spells, draw a spell, and a counter spell. I don't think we can ask for much more. And our opponent mulliganed. Alright. Hello. Let's play an island and pass the turn. Okay. So the reason why Curate is my draw spell... Do I want that many lands? Yes, I do, actually. But anyway, the reason why Curate is our draw spell of choice is because we are running the Gearhulks, and the Curates will dump things into our graveyard for our Gearhulks. So some Mardu Greasefang. We could dissipate this, but I think it'd be better just to abrade it. I considered shocking there so we could leave up Fateful Absence and a Curate, but especially in this matchup, I think it would have been right to shock there just in case. We're either going to win by a lot or lose by a lot. Okay, so this is a good dissipate target. Greasefang is fine. He doesn't have anything in his yard yet. Yeah, I like both of those here. Let's go ahead and draw 2 and see if we can get a veto. Nope. It's okay though. Would we rather give him a clue or a treasure token? I'm gonna say a clue. Then again, he's got all the mana he needs. Maybe a treasure wouldn't have been bad. Just keep the Fateful Absences for Greasefang. There's our veto. Okay, so now we have a removal spell for another Greasefang if he does manage to pitch the Panthahelion. We have a Settle in case we weren't able to stop this combo. Alright, there's the vehicle in the yard. Does he have another Greasefang? He does. It's alright. Let's just go ahead and kill it. We don't have Settle mana up right now. There's 3 Greasefangs down. Looks good. So, do we want to? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, not yet. I was considering on making a token with Castle before we untapped, but I'll just wait and see what opponent does. I think it probably would have been smarter to get the 1/1 out of the way, but basically our main goal right now is protect Teferi until we can ultimate him. Obnixilis. Okay. He sacked his Kiki Jiki for that. This deck does kind of have a hard time dealing with Planeswalkers, so we will go ahead and just counter them both. Oh, we cannot counter both of them. Oh, yes we can. I thought so, but... So that was an even 2 for 2. And he does take Teferi back down a notch. So let's go ahead and make a token here, and then we'll untap. This will protect our Teferi a little bit. Excuse me. Fatal push, that's fine. Not a huge fan of that hitting the table, but not much we can do about it at the moment. So the question here is, do we let Teferi take 2? Or do we draw 2? I say we protect our Teferi. Because him ultimate, hitting his ultimate is what's going to win us the game. So like I said in the deck tech before, sometimes we're just going to cast our Magma Opus when we draw it. And this is a game where we're just going to cast our Magma Opus if we draw it. And discard 1. Yep. So opponent only discarding 1 card. That means he likes his hand. It's kind of scary for us. Let's see what he's got. Okay. So I'm going to double block this. Teferi will take 1 again, but it's alright. Stitcher Supply. Okay, so there's a Gearhulk. That's beautiful. So I'm not sure if opponent has anything that can deal with the Gearhulk. He is just straight up casting Perhelion, but we do have counter spells in our yard. Or wait, I guess we could have let it resolve and just abraded it. And save that counter spell for a different Gearhulk we draw. And that would have let him tap out a little bit more. Tap his creatures. That was a misplay. I'm not used to people hard casting that spell. So opponent doesn't have very good attacks here. I can imagine them sending their Stitcher Supplier just so they can mill some more. But now that we do have the Gearhulk out, we're not going to need to be making as many tokens. I wonder if opponent has had enough. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video until opponent does something, because I have a feeling he's just roping us. Yep, so opponent just decided to walk away from his computer instead of conceding. I mean, it is what it is. People hate playing against blue-white control, but opponent acts like I value my time anyways. On to the next game. So I've said in numerous videos before that I think blue-white control is the best deck in the format. And I do think that is still true, even though Greasefang is just running wild right now, and so is all these damn Rakdos decks. But I don't know. I like the matchup. I think blue-white has serious answers against it all. And if I was to go to a major tournament, this is hands down the deck that I would take. Maybe not this one specifically, but some sort of blue-white control. But adding the Opus and Gearhulks in here is fun. That's for sure. Alright, so I kept this hand because we had good lands, counter spells, draw spells, and a Wrath. Pretty easy keep. Opponent playing the Snarls. Cleric class. So if I had to guess, they're either black-white angels or black-white clerics. Either way, I think we're going to do alright. Especially if they're missing land drops. I'm not going to cycle our Typhoon there. Not yet. Veto. Veto is a very powerful card, but maybe I should have cycled last turn. I want to guarantee that we hit a land drop. So I'll cycle for 0. Perfect. So on their upkeep, Gearhulk. Play our Magma Opus. Tap, tap. 3 to Veto. Slam a Teferi. Untap. Leave counterspell up. I think this game's pretty much over. I can't imagine opponent's going to hold on very much longer. Blood Chief's Thirst. Okay. Two and 0. On to the next one. So this deck has a hard time against super aggro decks, and that's why I'm playing 4 Fateful Absence and 2 Settle the Wreckage. Because really, we don't do a whole lot until turn 5. So if you are to take this tournament to a local game store for F&M or whatever, and there are a lot of mono red players there, or decks similar to that, I think I'd cut the Curates for more Abrades. Okay, so this isn't a great mana opening hand, but we do have removal, a Teferi, and a draw spell, so I will keep it. And we're on the draw. Alright, and here comes mono red. That island is going to help smooth things out. Oh, no, it's just Boros. Maybe it's Feather? Just prevent that damage. Yeah, no, we're just going to go ahead and Fateful Absence that. Showdown on 4. Typically, you don't play this until 5, but there's a Goldspan Dragon. So the question is do we take the chance and Curate, hoping to find a Fateful Absence? Or do we just draw 2? I think we're going to Curate. I don't want either one of those. Okay. So now we need to settle the wreckage. And that's another thing I was also looking for. So if we tuck this, we're probably dead to the Scald triggers. But if we don't tuck it, we're dead anyways. Yeah, I think we're dead. But our only hope is to tuck the Goldspan. So as long as he can cast 2 spells this turn, we're dead. Or another Goldspan. Good game. So yeah, just like this. I mean, it was a really aggressive deck. Killed us on turn 5. It is what it is. Or I guess technically it killed us on 6, but... Okay, so our mana is awkward, but I am going to keep it. We have a draw, counter, an Opus, and a Teferi. Hopefully opponent's playing a slow deck. Oh, is this the Transmigify bullshit with Agent of Treachery? I don't know. Team or something. Sure. We could have played a Teferi there, but I am going to instead dig and hope to find a either Settle the Wreckage or Gearhulk. Sure. Ezekiel's Chariot. We can let that resolve. We have a kill spell. Don't need either one of those. Don't need that land either, but oh well. Okay, so now for Teferi. We can play Teferi out and we'll still have counter spell mana up. We also still have Fateful Absence up for, yeah, Chariot. I think this is the right play. So what I'm assuming opponent's going to do is they're going to crew Chariot with a cat and this Kiki and attempt to copy it with Kiki, and we're just going to Fateful Absence it in response. Or he's not. Okay, either way, I'm killing the Chariot. He could have then made a copy of it, but and he's attacking Teferi, not our face. I am surprised for that. Yeah, this game's over. Alright, on the next one. So, 2 and 2. It's not terrible. Normally, I like our matchup against the Transmegafy decks, but he applied some pretty early pressure. And we was not able to find our Settle the Wreckage like I was hoping for. Okay, so once again our mana base is kind of awkward. But I think I'm going to keep it. I mean, this looks like something a control player would play. Or at least a mid-range, so. And we're on the draw. So we're less likely to draw plains than we are a mountain or an island. And our deserted beach will come into play untapped on turn 3 anyways, so. Rakdos aggro. Okay, good thing we have a Settle the Wreckage here. I mean, we do still need to find another land. There's our third land. So I think what we do here is we just make a treasure token. Maybe it was right to counter that light up the stage. I don't know. We still need lands. We still need... I would love to draw a land into a Gearhulk. But a land is going to allow us to start making tokens with our castle and start chump blocking things to help us stabilize. We are at 8. It's not ideal, but it's not terrible either. And he chooses to stomp us again. So he can probably play this light up the stage. Okay, so there's our tapped land, unfortunately. So what do we do here? Do we Teferi? If we Teferi, we lose our treasure. But I think it's still the right call. Maybe we can draw a Fateful Absence to kill this hive. Abrade works too. And I do think that's the play here. I think he has to... well, he doesn't have to do anything, but I think the right play here is to attack with hive. He could double Bone Crusher. Or he can just try and burn us out. Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and hop back into the wrap-up. Alright, so back into the wrap-up. Normally I don't post videos I make that go 2 and 3, but I think this is an exception. I know personally I was curious to see how Opus and Gearhulk would do in a blue-white control shell. And I don't know, I think just straight up blue-white control is better. Because a lot of this format, a lot of the metagame right now is Greasefang decks and really grindy Rakdos decks. And these two cards don't really do anything to combat that. Now, if the metagame slows down and starts becoming more control heavy or mid-range heavy, then yes, I think adding red to this deck would be worth it. So hopefully you watched this video and decide not to craft these cards, even though they're amazing cards. If you have the extra mythics, I'd pick them up. I'm definitely not disappointed in my decision to craft these. I've had them for a while now anyways. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Go think of it. And until next time, have fun